All right, so taking a look, we've got our picture on the left from today, and the picture on the right was from last time. One of the things that you had a little practice session that was a little rough. You walked into the lesson saying, "Hey, I'm hit a couple of good ones and hit a lot of bad ones. I'm hitting it kind of low to the right and off the toe."
Mm-hmm.
I watched you hit a couple balls, and the first thing that I was looking for was, "Hey, are we doing anything that we talked about?" Because a lot of the time we see people
Did
come
he pay
into
attention?
yes, people come into lesson, they're doing some weird stuff.
Right.
The interesting thing was when I looked at it, you say, "Yeah, well, actually, we're doing a lot of things that we want to do. The club's not swinging nearly as long. The club face is staying more square because the left wrist is staying flatter. When we get the club down into this delivery position, what we're looking for is for the club face to stay more square. When we look at our old positioning here, the club face was leaning back, which is getting too open. And so, you know, like I said, from where I'm standing, I was saying to myself, okay, look, I'm seeing some change here. Why isn't the ball responding to it?" And then we pulled out this 2x4. And when we hit the 2x4, we hit it with the club, which means that we were hitting the ball on the heel side of the club.
Mm-hmm.
Then we started hitting a couple of better ones, and we started talking about, hey, what did I think you should be thinking about?
Yeah.
And when I said, hey, why don't you try to just keep your left wrist flat and hit it on the toe of the club?
Yep.
This was that swing. And we started doing some really good stuff where you hit that hair on the toe, and immediately things started feeling quite a bit better to you.
Mm-hmm.
Now, when we look at where we were on those swings, when we're looking at it from the face-on view, here we go. One of the things that we noticed was because of the old open club face, the club would always release back to you very close. When we look at what we're doing now, we're doing a much better job of getting that body to turn through the target and get some more space between your body and the club at that part of the swing. Notice how much more your body's turned and how much flatter your left wrist is. Notice that the knees kicked in and there's some air underneath the right heel. And I only point those things out because they're all improved. Even the brim of your hat's moved quite a bit more. But when we compare that to just a little practice swing of saying, well, what would our perfect be? You can see that all of those things just happen more. So the shoulders have turned more. The brim of your hat's turned more. Belt buckle's facing the target. And there's a little bit more air under that right foot. Now, one thing that's interesting is that the knee's not bent more. And the knee's not bent more because you're up taller. Mm-hmm. And when we look at the mountain or the little hill behind you, you can see where you've stood up a little bit more. And so our little refinement to this little half swing drill is, can we finish with our arms straight, standing up taller, facing the target? And when you do that kind of stuff, we start seeing the ball fly a little bit straighter. So that was a drill that we spent a little bit of time with. Another drill, because you don't have a 2x4, was we put these 2 balls on either side of the club and we try to hit the middle ball.
Right.
Now, when we did this drill, you hit a couple where we hit both of the outside balls. Whenever we did that, we said, look, pull the handle down, back your feet away, put the weight a little bit more on your heels, and then you got on some really good runs of contact. So whenever you hit the ball on the heel, try to go like simple approach first. If I hit it on the heel, just try to stand back a little bit further. If I'm finishing with my weight on my toes too much, put the weight a little bit further back. And see if we can manage those things and make that contact get more consistent. So keep working at it. The left wrist is looking great. Let's make sure that we got our body to face the target in our finish, and you can stand up nice and tall. It should be a lot more comfortable to do that as well. So keep working at it.
Now, give me I'm walking onto the range.
Yep.
What would you recommend?
So I would I would do the opposite of what we did today. And what I mean by that is I would start with the half swing. I would take a 9-iron, I'd pick a target about 60 yards away, and I'd make sure that when you go through to your finish, you're pointing the club and your body at it. I think the other nice thing about doing a little smaller swing is it's a lot easier for you to achieve that left wrist staying flat. So you can kind of just work on the through swing, or like the bottom of the swing, right? How do you go from waist high to waist high? Then I would go into the 2-ball drill, maybe take a 7-iron, and make sure you just hit that middle ball over and over and over again. Then next time I see you, we're going to hit some short game shots, and I would sprinkle that in on top of the practice as well. So next time you practice, go half swing, then full swing with the in between the 2 balls. And I would try to practice those as much as you can. Like without a golf ball works too, right? And so if you could make a couple of swings in front of a mirror, in front of your window where you can see your reflection, and just getting comfortable with that stuff so it's not brand new can really help the process of getting it in there faster and faster.
Yeah, I agree.